Good, happy Sunday morning. Is Sunday, February 20th, 2022. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Sunday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Sunday morning, so let's get started right now. First up, drivers face road hazards as snow squalls roll through New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
What does it take to be the best? It takes guts, grit, determination.
Well, Grace, things have cleared up now, but like Jackie just mentioned, it's still rather windy outside. But if you were on the roads earlier when those squalls moved in and passed through, it got real tricky on the roads as there was very limited visibility and the streets themselves were very slick.
Saturday's snow squalls causing issues in the southern parts of the state. This car slipped off the road and rolled over on I-93 in Londonderry as the squalls quickly moved in.
They create a driving situation where it's very poor visibility, very quick burst of snow, heavy snow. With the cold temperatures, I think that created an immediate black ice situation on roadways.
Not too bad. Like around here wasn't bad. We're coming from Vermont, so the Vermont roads were a little icier, but not bad.
The squalls also moved out quickly, but New Hampshire's Department of Transportation says they responded to a number of accidents in Hillsborough and Merrimack counties.
They didn't last too long, but I wouldn't want to be driving during that.
The DOT says if you're stuck on the road when a squall hits, slow down, and if you can, pull over.
We always encourage people to postpone travel in snow events, snow squalls or snow events.
And while usually fairly quick weather events, the DOT says those snow squalls are actually some of the more dangerous situations for drivers. That's because of the whiteout conditions they bring and their unpredictable nature. We're live in Manchester tonight. Scott Cook, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Mother of unsolved homicide victim looks back on his death 2 years later. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Are you looking for a rewarding career with purpose? Join our dynamic team that's dedicated to making a difference. Bring your talent to Riverbend Community Mental Health. Specialized behavioral health by providers who truly care.
I felt as though I had more of a grasp or understanding in the first year of his unsolved murder than I did year 2.
Chandler's mother, Amy Inarelli, says 2 years has not brought any new developments or any arrests in her son's case. And as time passes, she says fewer people are coming forward. The DA's office with only minimal updates.
And looking at it optimistically, I'm hoping that they're just building the case and they're working to protect the integrity of it.
Amy says it's Chandler's 2-year-old son, Jamel, that keeps her searching. Jamel, just a newborn when the 22-year-old was shot in his car in Manchester.
He knows his dad. He sees his dad. He kisses his dad's photos all the time. Jamel is a highly intuitive and wise beyond his years, 2-year-old, and he loves being outdoors. And I think that he just knows. He knows that his daddy's here, but he's not here.
Now, Amy raises awareness on gun violence. She's adopted a park and hosts community events for kids. All the while, she continues seeking answers.
My plea to anybody that knows something, to please say something. Allow me the peace and closure for me to focus my efforts on making positive change and opportunities within our community's youth.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Crisis in Ukraine. Ukraine president calls on Putin to meet as tensions grow. Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky facing a sharp spike in violence in and around territory held by Russia-backed rebels, and increasingly dire warnings that Russia plans to invade on Saturday called for Russian President Vladimir Putin to meet him and seek resolution to the crisis. UE chief, Russia could be cut off from markets and tech goods. Moscow would have its access to financial markets and high-tech goods limited under Western sanctions being prepared in case Russia attacks Ukraine, a top European Union official said on Saturday. Meredith police looking for man who allegedly hit two of their cruisers and led them on chase. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Does your boiler or furnace vent into your chimney? The majority of chimney flues in New Hampshire are actually...
Well, Mike, Meredith police tell us that there is some good news here. None of their officers were injured in that incident, but there is still a suspect on the run tonight. Now, the details are very limited at this point, but that suspect has been identified as Taylor Akers from Goffstown. Police say he is well known to them, and they were at his apartment in town today for numerous domestic violence offenses. Police say Akers fled the apartment when they arrived, leading officers on a brief police pursuit and even striking two police cruisers in that process, causing minimal damage. Now, luckily, all officers are okay, but they did have to suspend that police pursuit due to road conditions. So as of right now, Akers is still on the run, and police are still working to find him. That is the extent of the information we've been given at this point, but we're going to continue working this story. We'll check back in at 6 o'clock with any new details. For now, live in Meredith, Scott Cook, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Good Samaritan left critically injured after Nashua crash faced with long recovery. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Does your boiler or furnace vent into your chimney? The majority of chimney flues in New Hampshire are actually...
Just getting into bed is difficult now for David Petrie, but his wife of 35 years is quick to rush over and help him every step of the way.
My outlook is I'm alive, I'm with my wife, and that's all that matters.
The 56-year-old is finally home in Deerfield, now using a wheelchair and equipment he never thought he'd need, less than 3 months removed from a horrific crash.
And he hit me head on and drove over me.
On December 4th, Nashua police say glare from the sun impaired a driver who crashed into a pole. Petrie was at work, heard the bang, so he and others ran out to help the woman. Just before first responders got there, Petrie and his co-worker were then hit by a different driver.
I remember trying to sit up, my legs just kind of opened up, my pelvis opened up because my pelvis was just in like 7 pieces.
Petrie spent 3 grueling weeks at Mass General Hospital, then 5 weeks in rehab. Fractures, traumas, nerve damage among his injuries.
My urethra was smashed and torn away from my bladder.
His lower half now full of bolts and rods.
The surgeons in Boston at the time were actually saying that the X-ray was kind of famous down there, and this is Mass General.
Petrie doesn't know if he'll be able to stand and walk again, but says early prognosis is encouraging.
I'm gaining some strength back, muscle strength anyway.
Petrie and his wife are now faced with sky-high medical costs. Friends are raising money through GoFundMe to help them.
The bills are, surmounting $1 million, and...
Despite it all, Petrie says he's lucky.
I'm very grateful. I'm very happy to be alive. I'm amazed that I'm alive. Of course, just to be with my wife and be alive and well, and maybe not well, but in one piece, more or less.
Well, Petrie also has a message. He's asking all drivers to pay attention and be very careful on the roads. If you would like to contribute to that GoFundMe page, we'll have that link on our website and mobile app tonight.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this Sunday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great rest of your Sunday, everyone. Goodbye.